That going. I just want to give you a brief background of VMA and what we are and who we are. Originally, we were formed in 1980 by manufacturers for manufacturers. VMA used to stand for the Evolution Manufacturers Association. Then we realized we had tremendous amount of companies from other locations joining us, like in Flagler County, some in Brevard, some in Seminole. So our board decided to turn us into VMA. So everybody's just supposed to know exactly who we are, which is fantastic because I always find that very confusing, which is fun. Next slide, please. So I want to get started with you today on some of the things that our organization is doing to help bridge the talent gap and the skills shortage that we are showing. We are very fortunate in Volusia and Flagler County to have over 75,000 students enrolled in our public school system. That means we have access to over 75,000 little minds to excite and energize about careers in manufacturing and what that means to them. So we like to start in kindergarten, mostly because they got weirded out when we went to doctor's offices to put headphones over mothers' wombs to get them excited about it. It's a joke. We don't actually do that. So we started with something called Manufacturing Means Measuring, where we would go into kindergarten, first, second, and third graders to bring them rulers and show them how this starts, how they work. Some things were pulled out of our curriculum in our schools, thinking that, well, we don't really need those, and if you're going to be in technical stuff, they'll teach you later down the road. So we got really lucky to have CTE people, which stands for Career Technical Education. I am really bad with acronyms because I'm always wondering, what are they talking about? Things like STEM, CTE. Okay, here we go. STEM also means science, technology, engineering, and math. So anything that we can do to excite kids along those lines, that's what we're doing. Next slide, please. We not only start in elementary school, we move through middle school and high school. We've created an event called the Robot Brawl. What does that mean? We have schools create robots so that they can fight them to the death. And then every October we get together and celebrate these bots these kids have built and celebrate them. I wanted a way for us to celebrate nerds. Most high schools have football teams and basketball teams where they have lots of spectators. Well, a lot of technical things, you don't really get a lot of spectators. And so these students don't feel as celebrated or as excited to be involved in these types of things. So that's why we created the Robot Brawl. As you can see, this little girl in blonde pigtails in the front, she with the bows, she actually was jumping up and down with her remote, so excited on the field the entire time. And I wanted to make it clear that she has continued in this program and is now starting to really develop her engineering mind and figuring out how things work and why things work. Next slide, please. Why is this important? As you've all seen the research and the data that we've looked at, women in STEM careers, the diversification of this is something that we all need to desperately work on. How are we doing this as a group? Well, last year we created our STEM Tea Party where we invited everyone who had a STEM related career, science, technology, engineering, and math, anything in those lines. This is something where we got these ladies together and we decided, you know what, we're going to put on nice frilly hats, fancy dresses, talk to each other, and share what we do. We did this in order to fund our after school programs for girls in STEM, because when we separated the girls from the boys, the girls, especially around that middle school age when the hormones kick in and everything gets weird, The girls were really focused and could actually sit down and process things differently. And we wanted a way to keep these girls excited about careers in STEM and see that there are grown-up women doing these things, and they're doing it well, and they're doing it at all levels. Next slide, please. So when industry comes into a brick wall, they decide to get creative. How do they get creative? They start looking into things, researching stuff. So about 20 something years ago, Toyota decided to create the FAME program. What is FAME? The Federation for Advanced Manufacturing and Education. With this program, students would work 3 days a week in the factory and go to school 2 days a week. It is a 5-semester program that Daytona State has graciously partnered with our manufacturers to create the Florida FAME Sunshine chapter. This is a huge, huge step in the right direction, because now we're taking the CTE students and the girls in STEM and offering them a pathway right directly into the workplace where they can graduate in 5 semesters with little to no college debt. What that does is it sets them apart from everybody else in the industry, and we have manufacturers fighting over these students. We had our very first cohort graduate a couple of weeks ago, which was super exciting. We started with 4. The program will allow up to 20 today. When our enrollment reaches that next level, Daytona State has promised us that they will continue to grow as much as the demand wants it there. So this is something that we are doing not only kindergarten through university. How do we get people engaged and excited about careers in manufacturing? Next slide, please. So how do we do this? Well, we celebrate our employees at our annual awards banquet. We have the Jane Pfeiffer Women in Manufacturing award that we give away. These ladies, once they win this award, are then tasked to go into schools and present what they do, why they do it. We have monthly plant tours that are open to students, teachers, and the community, so that we can open up our doors and you can see how things are being made and why it's so important for the community to know that nothing is really made in China. It's all really developed here. And then sometimes we send things over to China. But the really important stuff is actually made right here. We have just over 12,000 manufacturers in the state of Florida. I'm sure that that number is not mind-blowing to the people on this call, but in other situations, that number is really shocking. We have an education committee that has given away over $400,000 back in directly to our teachers, because sometimes it can be a bit of red tape if you're trying to get extra funding for things like, well, paper, to be honest, but 3D printers, machines to cut wood so that we can manufacture any type of idea that these students have, and just give them the skills that will grow with them for the rest of their lives. I realize I only have 10 minutes and I can talk on this subject passionately for quite a long time, but right now I'd like to open this up for questions so that you can ask me anything. We do a great job with marrying industry and education, so the communication is alive and well with all of our people. It is something that I personally feel is an absolute necessity, that each and every one of us needs to start being less impressed with our lives and more involved. So how do we get more involved with our communities, with our schools? This is how we do it. What can I answer for you guys? Can other regions outside of the Flagler Volusia work with VMA to get these programs like Robot Brawl into their communities? Absolutely. This is something that I think we should have a statewide competition for. I know that Lean Lego does things like that, or and First Robotics has these things that are already there. We at VMA like to give our schools a smaller competition so they can get used to the competition field. So when they're competing at the state level and at the national level, our students are more prepared and more excited. Plus, this also gives them a little bit of a pot of money for their teams to be able to get to the next level. Is Fame being launched in other regions of Florida um, in other RMAs? So I'm not sure if it is. I believe that the Panhandle has another Fame cohort that they're starting, but we definitely have the framework if you are interested in your area and partnering with your local state college to be able to do this. These students have grown immensely in their time that we've had with them. They went from shy little humans to robust presenting people who can make eye contact with you and describe what's happening, and share the information. So they're our future leaders of tomorrow, and I'm so excited to see the growth in them. Do you share your best practices, such as Florida Fame, with other regional manufacturers associations or with the state association? So I am absolutely happy to talk to anybody that will listen to me at any given time. So please reach out to me and I will happily discuss it with them. Will VMA partner with any of the local organizations for job fairs? So we do a lot of partnering for job fairs. What we've learned is that this really great idea in our head for job fairs tends to have people really trickle into it. And so we've done all this planning and all of this work for maybe a couple of people to come. We are working on new ideas on how to present this information to our community so that they know these jobs are available. And that's really where we're leaning toward going, but we always partner with our local career source in anything that they do along those lines. Ashley, thank you so much for putting my email into this chat. Let's see. Florida Technology Student Association is a statewide student organization for 6th to 12th grade students. That's fantastic. Is VMA and DST open to starting a state of Florida registered apprenticeship program in advanced manufacturing for aerospace and defense contractors? This was founded by our manufacturers, and if there's a need for that, we will absolutely partner and do those things. We find when industry taps our shoulders and makes a call, it's much easier for us to respond when we have people asking us instead of trying to force it. It's that old saying of you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. And you really can't drown the horse by holding its head underwater. So that being said, there's opportunity for all of us to partner and to figure out how to get better, faster, stronger in every possible way that we can. And in doing so, it only makes us better. So yes. Ashley says, we will continue to participate. Woohoo! That is awesome. It is a super fantastic organization with a lot of people who are very excited about what they do and how they do it. And I know that the positions we have open can only be filled if we are open-minded and excited and reaching into every area that we can figure out how to get people to listen to us, that manufacturing is alive and well, and it is a great career path for them. So at this time, I do not see any new questions populating the field. So I would like to take this moment and introduce Brian Bauer. He's the CEO of Career Source Research Coast and the co-chair of the Florida Atlantic Workforce Alliance. Brian?
Thank you, Jessica.